Welcome to September, and this month's theme on Kriya Yoga Online is focused on letting go of those things which no longer serve you. This is a good process to undertake at least once a year, because as you are a maturing individual, maturing spiritual being, certain things that served you in the past might not work for you anymore, and to hold on to those things can help to prevent your deeper realizations. So what I'd like to encourage you to do this month is to spend the first, we'll say 2 to 3 days of September contemplating the year up to this point, January through September, and contemplate how you've been living your life, and have a diary or journal or a notebook, and start considering those things that you have done, those changes that you have made, which have been supportive for you, and write those down. And I really want to encourage you to write this stuff down, because for some reason that connection between your brain and your hand and the piece of paper and taking the effort to do that, it makes it a little more real for you. Don't type it, but write it. Get a pen or pencil out and write it down if you can. But write down those things which have been helpful for you, those things which have helped to move you more closely towards your goals. And this can be anything. It can be spiritually, it can be your work, it can be in regards to relationships, but write them down. And then take some time to think about all your experiences over the year where your actions, your activities didn't work so well, or things that you did which set you back, spiritually speaking. And these can be habits, behaviors, people that you spend time with, ways you think, things that you do. But write them down. And not to be judgmental, just to acknowledge it. Well, spirituality is very important to me. Contemplative practices are very important to me. Being more conscious and awake is more important to me. These are the things that have not allowed me to do that so well. Make a list. And then of that list, take some time to pick the top 2 situations, habits, circumstances, people, whatever it might be, that really got in your way. That out of whatever reason just prevented you from meditating well or engaging in your spiritual practice, whatever it might be. And of those 2 things, write them down again. And write out an affirmation or a phrase that states something like, these particular experiences, and write out the experiences, have gotten in the way of my personal realization, my personal growth. I give them up to the divine light of my highest self. So again, these, and then write out whatever it is that's been getting in your way, have been getting in the way of my highest realizations, my spiritual practice. I let them go now into the light of my highest self. So write out a phrase similar to that. And do this twice, one for each of the situations, experiences, or habits, whatever it might be. And for the first 15 days of September, every time you meditate, before you meditate, write it out again. So what do I mean? Well, I have a notebook, and when I do this kind of a thing, I'll write out the phrase, and then I'll meditate on it for anywhere from 4 to 10 minutes, and I'll repeat it to myself. And then I close the book and I meditate normally. And then the next time I meditate, I get the book out again. I write that phrase over again. I write it exactly verbatim. I meditate and contemplate that. I feel it is true for 5 to 10 minutes. I close the book, I meditate. And I'll do that for a month, 15 days, however long it takes. But the key is to write it out each time, and then to spend at least 5 minutes affirming it, contemplating it, imagining that it was true, and then close the book and meditate normally. And the second part of the month, you want to begin with your second phrase. So essentially what we're doing for September is we're picking 2 aspects of our life that no longer serve us in regards to our personal growth and meditation practice. We're acknowledging them, we're honoring them, They're there. We're defining them. And then we're taking time to affirm that we're letting these things go, or we're releasing them from our consciousness. And you'll find that by doing this for 1 month, just with 2 things, that this will start to give you an idea of how you can change your internal consciousness. And the important thing about this is to also think about it throughout the day, meaning maybe you recognize a time when that activity comes up, or that person shows up, or that behavior that you do gets in the way. You honor it and you acknowledge it and you recite the phrase again, and then you make a conscious decision to either engage in the situation or to let it go. And hopefully, the more you affirm and contemplate and focus on this, the easier it will be for you to truly let go of these things. So this is your homework for September, is to first take some time, a few days, to consider, think about all those things that have been going very well for you over this past year. Write them down, write them out, be thankful, express gratitude for them. And then contemplate those aspects of your life, whether it's a person, place, thing, habit, behavior, thought even. Write out those things which have been getting in the way of your capacity to move forward, those things which have been hindering your personal growth. Write them all out. And then find, of that whole list, the 2 most important ones for you right now. Write those out again. And then create a statement for each one of those particular situations that says, I know this has been getting in the way of my personal growth and my spiritual realization, but now I'm consciously willing to let it go and to give it up to the divine light of consciousness so I can move forward and grow. Once you write them out, and over the next 15 days, you take the first phrase, you write it out again for each meditation, you contemplate it, you recite it over and over in your mind for at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and when you're done, you close the book. The next time you meditate, you do the same thing. So each time you're writing this phrase out, you're contemplating it for 5 minutes before your actual meditation session. For the second portion of the month, the final part of the month of September, you are going to use your second phrase and do the exact same thing. Before you meditate, write it out longhand. Look at it, read it, recite it over and over again, contemplate it, feel it as true for you for at least 5 minutes. Close the book, meditate normally. And then see how it transforms your life over that month. See what changes actually do occur. And remember that throughout the day, when you recognize these obstacles coming up for you, you acknowledge that it's coming up and you make a conscious choice to either engage in it or to let it go. You don't fault yourself whether you choose to engage in it or to let it go. You just know that you are consciously making that choice, so you let it be a peaceful situation. Yes, and enjoy this practice for September. Continue with your Kriya processes, continue with your spiritual reading, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you. Peace.